Today's show is sponsored by ExpressVPN. One-click protection for all your devices. Securing yourself couldn't be easier. Visit expressvpn.com/inside. If somehow you haven't heard about it yet, or you're just curious, I'm here to say you should know about Inscription. On a surface level, Inscription may remind you of a simpler version of other collectible card games like Slay the Spire, Magic, and Hearthstone, but don't be discouraged if that's not your thing, because there's a whole lot more going on here. The game is marketed as an inky black card-based odyssey that blends the deck-building roguelike, escape room-style puzzles, and psychological horror into a blood-laced smoothie. And honestly, that's a fair description, but again, there's more. We aren't going to get into spoilers, but if you've already seen enough to know you're in, stop watching this video right now and go play Inscription. For the rest of you wanting to know what this game's all about, essentially there's a narrative through line that takes place alongside the card game, allowing you to explore your creepy surroundings. The only catch is, you can't leave. You're imprisoned by a very ominous figure who seems to have an ever-present control of your woodland surroundings, and presumably you are playing towards your freedom, or maybe not. What you do know is if you lose, you die. The game you play with the ominous figure is basically a tabletop RPG, but encounters are handled by way of the collectible card game. The cards you collect and play aren't made up of whimsical fantasy heroes, but woodland creatures, and the currency here is blood and teeth. During encounters, you sacrifice cards to gain blood as a means to pay a higher blood price for summoning better cards. And during the tabletop RPG portions of the game, you can sacrifice and change your cards in mildly blood-curdling ways to make them more powerful. It's simultaneously a horrific and endearing combination of artistic vision and elements. The card game itself is solid and playfully acknowledges the baggage one who's familiar with the genre might have. Meanwhile, the narrative and escape room elements provide ample mystery and motivation for those new to collectible card games to learn the game and keep going. In terms of reception, Inscription has over 16,000 user reviews on Steam with an overwhelmingly positive average. The Metacritic rating at the time of this recording is sitting at an 83, and there have been a lot of glowing discussions about the game on podcasts and gaming websites. IGN's Tom Marks said Inscription's unsettling story is the perfect vehicle for its ever-evolving mechanics, which constantly keep the simple but entertaining card game at its heart fresh. And EuroGamer's Robert Perchese said Inscription is a wonderful nightmare and a vividly memorable game of cards. The game is published by Devolver Digital, but was actually made by solo developer Daniel Mullins, who had a bit of help with things like 3D art, the soundtrack, and translations from a ragtag crew of developers from all around the industry. The unique trappings and themes of Inscription shouldn't be too surprising, considering Mullins released Pony Island back in 2016, which fronted as a retro arcade game that quickly reveals itself to be inhabited by Satan, who is trying to claim your soul. But even expecting the unexpected, Inscription is still surprisingly good at subverting expectations, especially when those subversions are playfully revelatory with a touch of terror. That's all we've got today. Let us know in the comments if you're enjoying Inscription or if you have another game you think people should check out. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you on the next one.